Welcome. This video is a follow-up video. If you watch my other video on how to buy a brand new Jeep for 12 to 13% off MSRP, this would be the follow-up. Simply shows the trek from Boise, Idaho, where I bought the Jeep, down to Dallas, Texas, and some options on how you can have a little bit of fun just driving your Jeep back if you do choose to go buy a Jeep in that area. Anyway, enjoy. For this trip, we're going to fly from DFW up to Boise, Idaho, so we can pick up our Jeep in Nampa, which is only 30 minutes away. Then we're going to drive our new Jeep, stay just south of Salt Lake City and Draper, move on to spend a couple of nights in Moab at the Moab Valley Inn, down to a small town in Shamrock, Texas, and then back home to DFW. The trip altogether is going to be around 27 hours, with 24 hours focused on the drive back from Boise to DFW. Lots of things to do in between. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Let's use Google Maps and go in and take a look at some of the options, things that you might do on the drive back from Nampa to Texas. So first, you start off in the Nampa area, and the Jeep dealer there locally has, I think they head up about a 12,000 member Jeep club. Flying over Nampa, there look to be plenty of options for going Jeeping, so you might hook up with those guys, get them to take you out. The larger areas here of interest would be Salt Lake City. So this is a 5-hour drive from the Nampa area. Zoom in here. Park City, Utah. Very famous for film festivals, skiing, the whole 9 yards. Zooming in here, you know, in this area, there's just a ton of ski resorts, as you can see. So they're all over the place. Alta, the Canyons is here. It's Deer Valley's here. It's just really a lot of really, really good skiing, and some of the best powder I've ever skied on. So if you go in the winter, that might be an option. Also, those areas, if you're not going there in the winter, there's plenty to do, lots of restaurants. It's a very, very well developed area. And then a few more hours, this is about 3 hours out of Salt Lake, is where Moab is. This isn't just home to all the Jeep trails. This is also home to Arches National Park and Canyonlands National Park. These are both iconic national parks. If you've seen pictures of the Arches on many commercials, they're pretty amazing places. Lots of camping in this area, lots of primitive camping in the middle of nowhere you can go do. And Moab's built out with a lot of dining and hotel options, but it's a pretty remote place other than right there in Main Street. Now from Moab, when I left there, I spent a couple days there, and it took that. I was able to do really about 8 hours worth of Jeeping, 4 hours each day, going out on the trails, and then I did a 4-hour hike on my second day, and that was a pretty full 2 days before I headed out. Now, if you really want to take some time, you could alter your path. This 70 right here is what goes right into Denver. If you've ever been skiing or done any spring visits or anything up into the ski areas, 70's where Bell is. Copper Mountain's right here. Of course, Beaver Creek, Breckenridge is right here. So this is 70. It cuts through the mountains. If you go in winter, there are probably places you're going to absolutely have to have chains, especially if the weather's bad in that area. So plan accordingly if you try to trek through there in the winter, but really some iconic places to go through. And you come on down through, there's of course Durango on the lower end. There's plenty to do. I headed down towards Sante Fe, where I spent part of the day just walking around and grabbed something to eat. I did not spend the night here, and then continued on through on my trek to head back towards Texas. And you get into Amarillo, and there is an iconic steakhouse called the Big Texan. Not sure I would really recommend it because it had really bad food and bad service, but it's this giant place with all kinds of gimmicks going on. It's the best way to describe it. Known as a steakhouse, it's really busy. Lots of people go through there. I chose to stay at the Shamrocks because I wanted to get up the next day, and at this point, once I got to Shamrock, I only had 3 or 4 hours left to get back to DFW, and I wanted to explore. So along this route is Road 40 runs Route 66. Original parts of Route 66 run through here, and I went to a couple of the stops along the way. Went to the Route 66 Museum and explored that area a little bit before going into towards Norman and turning south. And I did stop at Turner Falls is in here. There's quite a few places in Oklahoma if you wanted to get off the beaten path and do some scenic drives. It happened to be October, so trees were changing. So I drove through Turner Falls when nobody was really there, and it made a pretty nice little short diversion on my last leg home, and then right into the DFW area. So that's the trip, and I will end this with a few pictures of what I saw along my path. Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and like, and be on the lookout for more videos to come. Thank you.